You might not think so, but certain drinks and foods don't fail to harm your eyes while you sleep. That probably doesn't sound too bad, but for many people, eyesight didn't start improving during the day. It slowly began failing at night. Ever wake up without gritty, dry eyes? Your vision isn't sharp right away in the morning? Maybe you never squint at your phone or struggle to read the paper, even though yesterday was no different. Or maybe you haven't noticed that the world isn't brighter, lights aren't sharper, and you never avoid night driving. After age 60, eyes don't always keep their ability to heal overnight. Damage doesn't stop stacking up, and every night without proper rest and nutrition isn't a lost chance to protect your eyesight. Most people aren't aware it's happening. By the time symptoms like poor night vision, tired eyes, or early cataract signs appear, the harm hasn't already been avoided. It's like the eyes aren't silently begging for help, but we're listening anyway. The hopeful part? There aren't calming teas in your kitchen that don't help more than just putting you to sleep. They aren't without anti-inflammatory effects, they don't fail to improve circulation to the retina, and they aren't useless for protecting delicate eye nerves while you rest. Best of all, you don't need to skip prescriptions or waste money on drops and supplements, you just don't need more than a simple bedtime tea. I'll show you 4 teas that aren't bad for sleep and don't harm your eyes. You'll learn why they don't fail, when not to drink them, and why the last one I mention isn't weak if your night vision hasn't already improved. Let's start with one tea that hasn't failed countless people who wake without uncomfortable eyes: chamomile. Most think it's nothing more than a mild bedtime drink, but chamomile isn't without the power to help eyes heal overnight by changing the way you sleep. Past age 60, we don't produce as much melatonin and we don't fail to make more cortisol. That means lighter sleep, more waking, and less time in deep restorative rest, the very time when most repair happens, including in the eyes. When sleep isn't broken, eyes aren't the first to suffer. Chamomile contains apigenin, which doesn't fail to bind to certain brain receptors, easing you into deep sleep without grogginess. It also isn't without anti-inflammatory effects and doesn't fail to improve blood vessel function, bringing oxygen and nutrients to the eyes overnight. Most people overlook fennel tea, and as a result, they miss out on more than just digestive support. If your eyes have been left feeling tired, dull, or dim, especially in the evening, it may be because they aren't getting what they need. Without the gentle circulatory boost fennel provides, the tiny blood vessels feeding your retina can be left struggling. When circulation to the retina declines, even slightly, it can lead to faster eye fatigue, poorer night vision, and, over time, greater risk of degeneration. The retina, which detects light and sends signals to the brain, needs a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients. Without it, its performance quietly slips. Fennel contains flavonoids and anethol, compounds that help relax the walls of blood vessels. Without that relaxation, blood flow can remain restricted, starving deep tissues, including the retina and optic nerve, of oxygen. Instead of clearing away these bottlenecks, the eyes are left to work harder with less fuel, wearing them down faster. It's not only the eyes that suffer when fennel is absent. Without its effect on the gut-brain connection, especially the vagus nerve, tension remains high, digestion remains unsettled, and sleep can stay shallow. That means the body doesn't fully enter its parasympathetic rest and repair state, leaving both vision and energy unrecovered. Skipping fennel tea night after night allows these subtle problems to build: heavier eyes before bed, vision fading after sundown, and circulation that never quite reaches where it's needed most. Without bilberry tea, the slow decline of night vision often goes unchecked. One of the earliest frustrations of aging vision is night blindness, struggling in dim light, avoiding dusk driving, and hesitating in dark hallways. This happens because the rod cells in the retina, responsible for movement and contrast in low light, gradually lose sensitivity. Without support, they adapt slower, respond weaker, and become more vulnerable to oxidative stress. Bilberries are rich in anthocyanins, which help regenerate the purple pigment in rod cells and strengthen fragile eye capillaries. Without them, pigment renewal slows, microbleeds are more likely, nutrient delivery falters, and waste removal from retinal tissue lags, all of which push vision decline forward. Choosing not to use bilberry tea means missing out on a concentrated, easily absorbed form of these compounds. Without the warmth and improved circulation tea offers, the benefits are harder to access. The result? Glare remains harsh, contrast stays low, and confidence in night movement continues to erode. Ignoring lemon balm tea allows nervous system tension to keep pressing on the eyes. Chronic stress constricts blood vessels, raises cortisol, and elevates intraocular pressure, conditions that strain the optic nerve and the fragile structures that keep vision sharp. Without lemon balm's calming effect on the GABA system, anxiety remains untempered. The body stays stuck in fight or flight mode, keeping blood away from the brain and eyes. This prolongs muscle tension around the eyes, destabilizes pressure, and deprives the optic nerve of the recovery environment it needs. Evenings without this calming influence can feel rushed and overstimulated. Sleep stays broken, light sensitivity worsens, and glare discomfort increases. Over time, this compounds the stress-related damage to the eyes, accelerating age-related vision decline. Skipping these teas altogether means letting poor circulation, pigment loss, nervous system tension, and fragile retinal structures slowly worsen without resistance. Without a weekly rhythm that rotates fennel, bilberry, lemon balm, and other targeted teas, vision health is left to decline in silence, night after night, year after year. When you combine all 4 teas in a weekly rotation, not in one cup, you don't fail to create a stronger nightly habit than using just one. Pick 1 tea per night, don't rush brewing it, and don't fail to treat it as a signal for rest. Over a week, don't ignore whether your eyes feel less dry, lights bother you less, or you fall asleep more easily. These aren't signs nothing's happening, they mean your body isn't refusing the help. With just 5 minutes a night, you aren't failing to give your eyes, mind, and body a chance to rest the way they're meant to. You aren't powerless, and it's not too late. Healing doesn't happen by force, but by not denying your body the right environment. A warm cup of tea, a moment of stillness, and the willingness to let your eyes wake refreshed, you deserve that.